So we will continue with our discussion with the parallel operation of transformers. Last time I told you sometimes transformers are connected in parallel to supply a load because of various reasons. One of them being that if in a particular place you want to install a transformer, suppose the kVA rating of the kVA demand of that particular area is suppose 1000 kVA, you can install 1000 kVA transformer and supply the load. Instead of doing that, you can connect two 500 kVA transformer and connect them in parallel and supply the 1000 kVA load. The advantage of this parallel connections of transformers obviously comes from the fact of the standby unit rating will be also small. Suppose you then purchase three 500 kVA transformers. One will be kept at standby. Two will be operated in parallel and supplying the 1000 kVA load. Or other alternative is you purchase 1000 kVA transformer, install it, and also purchase another 1000 kVA standby. But the cost of higher rating transformers are more. And also, if that suppose because of some reason you don't have a standby also ready made available, then if one of the transformer develops a fault, at least half of the load can be still supplied. And also in a particular area, if a single transformer at present is there and the capacity of that place has increased, that is the demand of load of that area has increased. Suppose presently it is 100 kVA transformer is there. Then suppose the capacity has risen to 150 kVA. Then additional 50 kVA, you buy another transformer and connect it in parallel with the existing one and supply the 150 kVA load. Like that. So because of those reasons, transformers are often connected in parallel. Now, before I go for the connection diagram, there are several conditions to be fulfilled in order to connect two or more transformers in parallel. It need not be always two. Three transformers operating in parallel supplying a load is also possible. The first condition is voltage rating should be same. That is, if one of the transformer voltage rating is 200/400 volt, the other transformer voltage rating should be 200/400. Then the secondaries must be connected in parallel with due or appropriate regard to the polarity. Otherwise, in the no load itself, the secondary will be short circuited. There will be large circulating current and so on. And third point is, for better load sharing, leakage impedance of the transformers should be inversely proportional to their kVAs. This point I will discuss in detail. And this last statement can be also specified in another language, that is the same point here. That is the per unit impedance. Per unit impedances of the transformers. Should be same. That is stating that leakage impedance should be inversely proportional to their kVAs implies that per unit impedances should be same. This I will highlight. Now coming to the connection diagram and how to analyze parallel transformers. Suppose you have got one transformer, that I will name it as transformer A. It is its primary and this is its secondary. Transformer A secondary. And you have got another transformer which is transformer B, and its secondary is small b. Okay. And suppose these are the dot conventions, these are the dots. what you do, you connect the primaries in parallel, that is these two you joined, and this common terminal will go to supply. Similarly, the other two points should be shorted and it will go to supply. This is how primary is energized. That is, two primaries are connected in parallel and energized from the rated voltage at rated frequency supply. Then if you do that, then there will be induced voltage across each of the secondaries, because voltage ratings are same, so V2 volts will be developed. Now these two windings are also connected in parallel. So the second point, that is the polarity point, that is you should connect it, the correct connection will be like this. These two you join, that is dot dot you join, this you take for supplying the load, and these two you join, and this one you take for supplying the load. This is the correct connection. That is, if somebody connects like this, this is one, this is the other one, obviously there will be these two EMFs will aid each other in that case. In this case, they will aid each other. So 2V2 divided by its own impedance, which is shorted. So this is not correct connection. This is the correct connection. Then here also you will be getting V2 volts. And then here will be your load connected, load impedance Z connected. Okay, this is how it is to be connected. Now, before developing or writing any equations, what we will do is this, that we will represent the transformers in terms of secondaries only. That is, this one I will do like this. This is the fast transformer. So in the fast transformer there will be induced in EMF here, EA. So draw the circuit, draw the circuit, refer to load side, refer to load side. So these two I will not write, 2 or 1. I will understand whatever I am drawing is this one. So what will be the representation of V2? This is EA, induced voltage, which happens to be equal to V2 here under no load condition. Then the series impedance of it. What is the series impedance? That is the reflected impedance REA and XEA. Transformer A equivalent impedance referred to the load side. Okay. And suppose you have not connected, this paralleling thing you have not done. This is how the secondary equivalent circuit will look like. And we will neglect the no load current. That magnetizing parallel branch we are not showing. So neglect no load current. Neglect no load current. Okay, so this will be the transformer A situation, induced voltage EA, its series impedance. Then these are the two terminals available for external connection. Similarly, for transformer B, this will be EB. Of course, EA and EB now same, because V1, V2 I have assumed same voltage ratings. But to give a general or to make general conclusions, we have incorporated EA and EB. Okay. Suppose the turns ratio may be slightly different, EA, EB. And its series impedance referred to the secondary side will be REB and XEB. Okay. These two circuits are connected in parallel and they are supplied from the load. Okay. So these two has been joined, going to supply load, and these two are joined and going to supply load. And here is your load connected. So in terms of equivalent circuit, it will look like this. That is, this circuit, if translated, showing the leakage impedances in series, it will look like this. Okay, EA, EB, RA, RB, like that. Now remember, suppose the voltage ratios are exactly equal, then EA will be equal to EB. EA will be equal to EB. And this circuit can be further simplified to this form. Simplified means it can be redrawn in this way. REA, XEA. REB, XEB. These two are joined. These two are joined. And here is connected the load. This is how it will look like, and this is EA bar. This is EB bar. Now suppose the voltage ratios are exactly equal, then if voltage ratings are exactly equal, then EA bar will be equal to EB bar. EA bar will be equal to EB bar. And if you imagine there is a switch, when no load will be connected, the circuit is closed here like this, with this switch S opened, with S opened, with S opened. How much will be the circulating current? 0, because EA, EB, they are all equal and acting in opposition. So no voltage is impressed across the series combination of this A leakage impedance and B leakage impedance. So there will be no circulating current. And your terminal voltage here will be same as EA or EB, because no current is flowing. So suppose if you measure this voltage with the help of a voltmeter, this voltmeter will read simply EA or EB, like that. Now when this transformer will be loaded, therefore what we note is here that the potential of this point with respect to this common point and potential of this point with respect to this common point, they are same. Is not, they are same. And this being the induced voltage inside the transformers, they will be always at equipotential, no matter whether you have connected any load on the secondary side or not. The potential of this with respect to this, potential of this with respect to this, because they give you the induced voltages, it will remain same no matter whether you have loaded here anything in the secondary. So this being equipotential, there will be no mistake done if you remember, suppose this is, therefore if it is loaded, suppose it supplies any current I bar, this current will be divided into or shared by these two transformers, which I will call it as IA bar and IB bar. Okay, suppose now this switch is loaded, transformer delivers some current I bar, and this will be definitely shared by this transformer, this transformer. IA bar will be the winding current of the first transformer, IB bar will be the winding current of the second transformer. Now the point I want to tell, these potentials being equal, you will not make any mistake if you join these 2 points, because there will be no current flowing, these are all equal potential. So I mean slightly further simplification of this can be made by doing like this, that is two voltage sources, two voltage sources in parallel like this, and this one is like this, and this is your circuit. In fact, this amounts to the fact that you are trying to finding out the Thevenin's equivalent of this circuit looking from this end. Is not? If you look from this end, what will be the Thevenin's equivalent? Thevenin's equivalent will be, these two impedances will be in parallel, in series, and what is the EMF existing between these 2 points, right? With sources, I mean, are you getting? So this will be, this is nothing but showing these two in parallel means you can replace it by a single source and these impedances in parallel. And here is the load. This is very simple. I mean, you just find out the Thevenin's equivalent looking from this end to the into the circuit. So equivalent impedance will be parallel of this one, and EMF will be EA or EB like that. But the important point, if you reduce the circuit here, you should not lose sight of this fact that this current, whatever it is actually my winding current. This IA bar and this is IB bar. IA bar will be actually my winding current. This I know. Okay. So simplifying, I mean, or rather the analyzing this simple circuit, I must know what is what. That is IA bar, this branch current, is actually my winding current. That is what I am trying to finding out. That is how much of the total current will be shared by transformer A, how much of the total current will be shared by transformer B, and so on. So this circuit can be simplified to this form, and I should remember that this IA bar is what? The secondary current of transformer A. IB bar is the secondary winding current of transformer B, like that. So this will be this one, and this is suppose the terminal voltage. With switch open like that or closed. With switch open, this terminal voltage will be same as this induced voltage in either of these two. That is there. Okay. So we will refer to then this simplified diagram. So this simplified diagram, how it has been obtained, I have told. So now in parallel operation, we will do like this. There is as if a single source of voltage and this one. This I will call it REA plus JXA, and this REB plus JXEB, and this is there, and this is the load connected. Obviously, when you load the transformer, that is this switch closed, some current at some power factor will be delivered to the load. Let us assume at that time this current is IA bar here and IB bar in the other branch. We can call this impedance as ZEA and this impedance as ZEB. So the problem, what we are really trying to do is how much of this total current delivered to the load will be shared by either of the transformers. That is why we are trying to find out the expression of the current. This can be easily found out by applying this parallel current distribution law, that is IA bar. To calculate IA bar, that the other impedance ZDB divided by ZEA bar plus ZEB bar into the total current. This is how the current in this path of the circuit will flow. And similarly, IB bar will be equal to ZEA bar divided by sum of the impedances into total current. So in terms of total current, this can be found out. All things refer to the load side, that you should, 1, 2 I have not written in the very beginning. Now the ratio of these currents, IA bar by IB bar, if you do, you will be getting ZEB bar by ZDA bar, or magnitude of IA divided by magnitude of IB, the current magnitudes that ammeters will show if you connect there will be magnitude of ZDB divided by magnitude of ZDA. So the current shared by each of the transformer, the ratio of the current shared depends upon their own internal leakage impedances. Why this point is important? It is because of this. Suppose I will just give you one example, then you will understand this point. Suppose you have got a 20 kVA transformer and another 10 kVA transformer. Okay, 20 kVA transformer, 10 kVA transformer. Of course, voltage ratings are same. Some voltage rating, say 400 stroke 200 volt transformers. These two I will connect in parallel and supply a load. Let us call this transformer A. This is transformer B. This leakage impedances can be found out by doing short circuit test. That we have found out. And we have seen that suppose this impedance ZDA I can calculate and ZDB I can calculate. Suppose after calculating this one, we find that the magnitude of ZDA divided by ZDB is in the ratio 1 by 2. Suppose I find, okay, for these two pair of transformers, suppose it is found that the magnitude of the impedances, leakage impedances, are in the ratio 1:2. Achha, what is the rated current of the first transformer? How much? Whatever you will tell, I will write. Secondary side, secondary side rated current? One of you tell. 100 ampere, correct, I hope. Okay. What is the rated current of this one? 50 ampere. Okay. Okay, so 50 ampere is the rated current, 100 ampere is the rated current of the secondaries of these two transformers. Suppose the load current is suppose 150 ampere. Suppose the load current is 150 ampere. How much will flow through transformer A and how much will flow through transformer B whose leakage impedances are in this ratio? So 100 ampere will flow through this one. Okay. Any problem? 100 ampere will flow through transformer A and 50 ampere will flow through transformer B. Like that it will flow 100 ampere, 150 ampere. So we find the ratio by which currents will be shared by the two transformers will be in this way, in the ratio of their impedances. Suppose I have not bothered, I have just taken two transformers, one is of 20 kVA rating and 10 kVA rating. And suppose in the other situation it is like this, 20 kVA transformer is there and another transformer B is 10 kVA. But the ratio of the leakage impedances ZDA by ZDB is suppose 2:1. Are you getting? This ZDA, ZDB short circuit test I can do. Suppose it has so happened, okay, voltage ratios are same, voltage ratings are same, KVAs are like this. But for this pair of A and B transformer, it is found after finding out the short circuit impedances that ZDA is to ZDB is 2:1. Getting? Therefore, the current as the as you go on loading the transformer, current in JDA will be always 2 times less than the B transformer. That is, you go on loading the transformer by varying these impedances. Suppose these impedances I am varying. First it was open circuit, then I connect some impedance, some current flows. Then whatever current flows and the current distributed in A and B, the transformer A for this set will carry always 2 times less this current. Now in this way I am going on loading these 2 transformers. Therefore, the current shared by transformer A will be at any point of loading will be always 50% that of the current in transformer B. That is correct. Therefore, it will be always up. Suppose, but you have purchased these 2 transformers in order to pass the rated current, maximum kVA you want to withdraw from the transformers, is not? What is the rated current of 20 kVA transformer? 100 ampere, we know. What is the rated current? 50 ampere. Now suppose we are loading the transformers in such a way to see that transformer A will supply 100 ampere. That load you connect, you go on reducing this load impedance or whatever it is and try to see that this current reaches 100 ampere. But at that time, what will be the current in transformer B? 200 ampere, and it will be overloaded. In fact, this will be overloaded like that. Then the question is, in such a situation, suppose, okay, your hands are tight, somebody has given these 2 transformers, you have to connect in parallel. To what maximum loading you can go? Such that here it will be 50 ampere and there 25. So you find with 2 transformers of impedances of this type, when these transformers carry 50 ampere, the transformer A will be carrying 25 ampere. That is, transformer B is fully loaded, but transformer A remains underutilized. And further loading is meaningless. Meaningless means you can further load it, but transformer A will become overloaded. Therefore, the current, how much current they will share, will depend upon this crucial ratio. And you have to select the ratios in such a way that it is correct ratios will be like this. That is why we say that the impedances should be inversely proportional to their kVAs. Okay, so when full load current is delivered to the load, we would like to see transformer A carries rated current, transformer B too carries rated current. Then only everything is fine. Otherwise, you cannot fully load the transformers either way. Therefore, impedances, this condition that the impedances should be inversely proportional to their kVAs.
So can we also apply external resistances and make the ratio so proper?
No, that you don't have any control because of the fact these 2 transformers are parallel. These 2 transformers are parallel. You connect an impedance. The current here supplied to the load will be decided by this voltage divided by this impedance. That is fixed. But what I am trying to tell, at any point of loading, suppose under loading, whatever current is supplied here to the load, that current will be divided in the ratio of their impedances.
But that impedance we can change now.
Which impedance?
So the ZE and ZEB.
That you cannot change.
So we can, but when we are adjusting the 2 transformers, it's in between we can apply resistance.
No, you cannot, because if you do, suppose for a particular loading current, if you do like that, what you are trying to tell, I will connect some external impedances here in series with these 2 transformers. Then the regulation of the transformers will become poorer. Perhaps that will not be a unique solution for all the loading. See, for another kind of loading, when the loading changes, then this another set of values of external impedances should be connected. that may not be practically feasible. That cannot be done. But what can be done at the very outset, you can tell these two transformers I want to connect in parallel, and their impedances should be in the inverse ratio of their KVS. That is, JDA is to JDB should be equal to that is 10 by 20, like that, 10 by 20, like that. So this is very important point. Impedances should be in their inverse KVA ratings, and you will get this one. Okay, just any two transformers cannot be connected in parallel. At the very beginning, you have to specify this one. Obviously, these impedances are in the inverse ratio of KVAs will amount to per unit impedances are same. Per unit impedances that you prove, per unit impedance same. Okay. See, per unit impedance same means I rated current into JDA divided by its rated voltage is equal to, suppose IB is the rated current of the second transformer into JDB by V2. So if these two are same, then only the currents are in the inverse ratio of their impedances. So it is told in a different language that the per unit impedances of the transformer should be same, like that. Now after doing this, we come to the conclusion that suppose the transformer A JDA is equal to REA plus JXCA and JDB bar equal to REB plus JXCB. Now the magnitude of the impedances should be inversely proportional to their KVS. But what happens to the quality of the impedance? Does it have any bearing on the load sharing? Quality of the impedance. Okay, what do you mean by quality of the impedance? That is the ratio X by R. Ratio X by R is the quality of the impedances. Now let us see what does this mean. Now look at this diagram once again. When load is connected with switch S closed, suppose what is the voltage between these 2 points? Some voltage will exist between these 2 points. Hello? Suppose how this quality will affect the loading of the transformers. Let us try to do it like this. Suppose A and B, these 2 points I call them A and B. So there will be some voltage existing across A and B. Let us call that voltage, let us draw that phasor. V bar AB will be some voltage existing between points A and B. Now suppose if the qualities are different, the angles, impedance angle of transformer A and transformer B will be different. So this current IA bar will be lagging this V bar AB by its impedance angle, say theta A, IA bar. Okay. So this is equal to, that is, this impedance is its magnitude JDA and theta A. Similarly, this transformer is ZDB into theta B. Therefore, with respect to this voltage, IA bar will lag by an angle theta A, and IAB will be lagging by its own power factor angle theta B. Is not. Where V bar AB is the voltage across this parallel combination of leakage impedances. Therefore, what will be the total current? The sum of these two currents. So, if you add vectorially these two currents, your total current will be like this. When the qualities of the transformers are different, and if the qualities are same, how this phasor diagram will look like? This is V bar AB. This is suppose IA bar. And where will be IB bar then? Same direction. It will be same direction. What will be the total current? Total current will be sum of these two along this line. So the current delivered by each transformers will take place at various angles, theta A, theta B. So the power factor at which the two transformers will operate when the qualities are different will be different in they will be operating at different power factors here, and here they will operate at the same power factor. Are you getting? Because V phasor, that is this terminal phasor, it is located somewhere here, somewhere fixed place V bar will be having. So power factor of transformer A will be the angle between V and IA bar. Power factor of the transformer B will be V and angle IB bar. So what do you note here is this, that in this case total current delivered when the transformers carries the rated current, total kVA delivered to the load or current delivered to the load will be simply algebraic sum of these currents. But if the qualities are different, the total kVA delivered to the load will be less than the total kVA they would have delivered if the qualities were same. So we note that if the quality are not same, if the impedance qualities, if the impedance qualities, if the impedance qualities are not same, are not same, are not same, then kVA delivered will be less than the individual kVA, than the individual kVA each transformer is handling. Yes. Less than the they are not same. If the impedance qualities are not same, the kVA delivered will be less than the sum of the individual kVA. Individual kVA. Each transformer is handling. Okay. So this is there. Now the third point, so you remember the first thing is, of course this will ensure even if the qualities are different, when with regard to the example I have taken, when the output current is 150 ampere, first transformer will carry 20 ampere and the second transformer will carry 100 or 50 ampere, like that I told. 100 ampere and 50 ampere they will carry. If the total current is 150 ampere, you don't bother about the qualities. You don't bother about the qualities. Total current delivered is 150 ampere. And impedances are in the ratio correct, 1 is to T, 1 is to 2. Then you will find the first transformer is carrying 100 ampere, second transformer is 50 ampere. Now come to the quality. Suppose the qualities are different. Current will be carried by same. Then you will find that if the qualities are different, then the sum of the kVAs will not be equal to the kVA delivered to the load because of the phasor addition of these things comes in. Whereas if the qualities are equal and also the impedances are in the correct ratio, then the KVA, individual KVA you calculate of the transformers, add them up, and you will get the total KVA delivered to the load. This method will help us also to analyze two transformers in parallel graphically. You just try. Okay, now I will tell you suppose this is of course very simple. I will just quickly tell within 2-3 minutes. Suppose as a general case, suppose these are EMFs are not equal. Suppose this is JDA bar, this is JDB bar, and this is Z bar. And just suppose EA is not exactly equal to EB. Very close to, of course, that you must see, but not exactly equal to this one. Then, of course, these 2 points you cannot connect. Then suppose you want to find out how the current will be distributed, etc. So let us call it IA bar, IB bar, like this. Then apply simple equations and you get it as EA bar as suppose V bar, where V bar is this voltage across the load, V bar plus IA bar, JDA bar, and DB bar, V bar plus IB bar, JDB bar. This way you can calculate the two equations. Okay, and what is V bar? V bar is nothing but I bar into Z bar, where Z bar is the load impedance, plus IA bar, ZD bar. This is EA bar. Or you can write for I bar as I1 IA bar plus IB bar into Z bar plus IA bar ZD bar. What I will request you to do, that this EA bar, this equation, only this equation I will write, it can be shown to be equal to this one, JDA bar into IA bar plus Z bar into IB bar. Similarly, from EB bar you will get write like this, something into IA bar plus something into IB bar, and try to obtain expression for IA bar and IB bar. So this I leave as an exercise to you. Okay, today we